Hey there, come on a little bit early. I'm just sorting out some seeds while I'm sitting here waiting. Hi to Shirley, thanks for coming on over, Shirley. Just seeing what else I really need to do some more planting of. I can't believe it, but I've recently got peppermint seeds and there's none left already. So, I can't believe it. It's not that I've planted lots of them. There can't have been as many in there that I thought. Planted loads of basil. I might drop a few more somewhere else. Coriander the same. Still haven't really looked up much about coriander, so I don't know how that goes. I'm going to be filming a bit of my indoor garden tomorrow. I like to do a couple of those and then show you a change. So you might have 1 week and then another bit on the end of like a few weeks later. So I might do that. Let's do some more cucumbers. Don't think I need to plant any more tomatoes. When I've looked at how many little tomatoes I've got coming up all over the place. Want to grow some more of those. These are quite new. This is my new file. So obviously radish coming up all the time. Want to do a bit more of those. I've got no more of the Uzbek golden carrots left. We've been eating those. They're really good. Got some more normal radish. Always planting those. I don't need to do any more eggplants or aubergines. I'll do some more onion. And yeah, I might start doing the sweet corn. This one says March. I guess it is coming up for March, isn't it? March, April, May for this variety. And I've got quite a few varieties. So I did prepare the bed. I've got 2 or 3 beds for those to go in. So those, and definitely some more of the beans. Oh, parsley. I've got tons of that coming up already. I did plant some of that out. And I've got 4 types of beans. I've written 1, 2, 3, 4 on the packet, so I don't have to keep writing the type of beans they are when I plant them anywhere. I just write 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a good tip for some of you if you like to label your things and can't be bothered to keep writing out labels. That's number 2 there. And these ones are really huge, as in the beans are really huge. So I'll plant some more of those. So I was just going through those to see, maybe tomorrow I will plant some more seeds indoors and outdoors because we are well into spring now. So I will be doing some of that. Let's start today with ABCs. What's ABCs? Are you new to my channel? ABCs is Awesome Badges Channel Shoutouts. ABCs. And this is anyone who sends me stickers. If you know, I turn them into badges. So if you have stickers you want to send them to me, then I will make them into a badge and wear them on my lives. So today I've chosen Digging for Health. And I want you to all know Andrea is back doing her channel. So do go over, show her some love. And she's got content back again. She's still getting through issues. So support over there would be most welcome. So let's wear that badge for the rest of the live. Just realised I'm quite low today, so we'll wear it up here. And if you want to know, thanks a lot. If you want to know my t-shirt today, it's an old one. Still dancing, the miracle continues. Hey! And if you don't know my other channel, my dancing channel, I did a video on there last week and it's all about flexibility. Even if you have disabilities or no mobility or can just sit in a chair, this is a magic exercise. if you're into yoga, or if you are a Keep Fit fanatic of any shape or form, anybody in less than 5 minutes can completely transform their flexibility and mobility. It's a very magic trick, a way of doing that. Let's actually see if I can give you the link to that. Let's see. Oh, it's not on that. It's not on there, is it? It's on. I put all my information on Word docs. So every time I post something, I put it on a Word doc. So I know this is the last one on my dance channel. There's more videos than I thought I've done on that channel. So this is magic way to instantly improve your flexibility for everyone. So no matter what your ability, I promise you it works. It's awesome. It's a bit of magic with no effort. There we go. So that's a link to the video if you're interested in that, and at least have a look at it. It was difficult to make because you have to say it in a certain way. So I wanted to make sure I said it right and didn't miss any steps out. So I had to record myself on my phone saying it first to make sure it was right. And then I played that while I was filming. So obviously I did it right at the time. So I'm listening to myself. It is me speaking on the video, but obviously I'm doing it to my pre-recorded spoken word. You know what I sound like, you know it's me. So there's that to look at. What else? There's a link below to Andrea's channel, Digging for Health. There's a link below, and also below every now and then I like to put up a what to watch. So it's coffee break, what to watch on your coffee or tea break. And I've linked a video below. We have Easter a different time to most of the world. We have the Greek Orthodox Easter. So our dates are completely different to probably your Easter. And below I've linked a video of what happens in Cyprus and Greece, because it's Greek Orthodox. We're not a Greek island, but obviously we follow the same holidays. We do have our own separate holidays as well, but obviously being the same religion, we follow their holidays as well. And it's all about what we're doing now in Cyprus leading up to our Easter. Today is a big holiday in Cyprus. It's Green Monday or Clean Monday, and there's a bit about that in the video below as well. And I did talk briefly about that in my last live. So shall we start today on some garden tips and hacks? So this is a section I like to call Sow, Grow, Mow and Ho, Ho, Ho. And do go and check over Glitterworld's channel. She's doing a great job of growing in a very small space. And because of, oh, thanks, Shirley. Because, of course, certain countries right now have very cold climate, she's showing you what she's growing indoors. So do go and check out her channel. It's completely awesome with what she grows in such a small space. And she does paintings. She gave me some great tips on her live today for painting faces, and I thank you for that, Shirley. And I was listening. I was trying to find emoji for ears, like I'm listening. So yeah, it sounds like a great tip, but as I say, it'd be great if you could actually show doing that. That would be marvelous. So today I thought for gardening tips, I'd very briefly speak about general bug problems. Now I have a whole playlist on this channel about different bugs. So each bug is separate. There's a whole bit about them, how to get rid of them. If you've got a bug in your garden, you don't know what it is, go down that playlist. I'm trying to start with the more common bugs first, but there's some strange ones in there. So this is just kind of a general bug problem roundup. And we'll talk about bugs that bore, because if you get a bug, you need to know not just what they are, but what they do, because you can't just get rid of a bug if you don't know where and how they get to your plant in the first place. Some fly on, some just appear, and you're like, where did that come from? So bugs that bore, you need to change the area of these crops or plants to be sure no bugs or their larvae or eggs remain in the soil. So this is how a lot of them are imported. Shop bought soil does often contain eggs and bugs. I never buy soil. I never grow buy potting compost. I just keep away from it. I know a lot of you have to do that if you live in a city, maybe you don't have access to anything, but I don't even grow in soil. The only thing I have to grow in is my homemade compost. There's no earth involved in any shape or form. If you see anything earthy in my garden, it is purely made by my compost. And once you make your compost, it will continue breaking down to give that more soily quality. I use my grass cuttings. We only have grass for a very short time here, so Mike lets it get quite long and then he cuts it down. We like to keep all the spring flowers as much as possible because that is bringing in now the pollinators. And with that comes the butterflies. So make sure you've netted all brassicas. So things like cabbage, cauliflower, kohlrabi, broccoli. Did I say broccoli? Those kind of things you need to net in some way. Now, I've actually got an old, it's like netty fencing, and it was from a friend of ours was throwing it away. It was actually bought as like a dog compound, if you like. It's only probably comes up to a bit higher than my waist, maybe, all the parts of it. And I want to put that round my cauliflower. This is my plan, but I need kind of to figure it all out. Hey there, Mr. Jimmy. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you. It's 5:40 p.m. now. 5:40 p.m. So, yeah, nice to see you here. So, guys, do check out the Astute Tourist. I'm normally on the channel, which is my lunchtime on Mondays. Wait, I forget now. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Mr. Jimmy does a live EST time, 6 a.m, Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. He does his evenings as well, but for me, that's probably really late night, early morning for me, so I can't help you with that. But do go and check out his channel. I'm sure somewhere there will be dates and times, whether it's in the About section or I tend to put my information under my lives. So normally, not under every live, but normally if you want to know something, it's in the live, because I found the About section. I wanted to talk more about my channel. Oh, Miss Dawn. Is that because I always call you Mr. Jimmy? Not many people get that from me. Oh, you must be special for some reason. I don't know where I started that actually with you. I really don't know where that came from. It's become a little fun thing now. So we're talking about bugs. Now, my tip is to grow, if you can, let's say you're growing carrots, don't grow them all in one place. And grow them in different ways as well. So some in pots, some in a bed, I use animal food bags. I find they work great. Or if you buy vegetables and things from the shops, in those plastic bags, any bags you've got are great to grow in. And grow them in different ways because they will crop at different times, but also in different areas of your garden. So if one crop does fail, and you get bugs on it, they're not going to spread over all your carrots, for example, because you're going to have different areas in your garden. Another deterrent, obviously, you're going to put things like garlic or onion with things like carrots to stop the smell of the carrots attracting things like whitefly. But they also suggest, a lot of people, that if you've got a big bit of land, this doesn't work for most people because they don't have vast land, is grow something round the edge. If you really get bad bugs, if you're in a country maybe where you get things like locusts, then grow an area around your main crop that you don't mind losing. So once you see something come like that and it suddenly invades fast, you've got all that stuff you don't mind losing first. That's only a good tip if you've got vast land and you have something tragic like locusts. Every year you have horned tomato worms. I hate those. Yes, I think I've done a video on those, my tips. Let me just look if I have that video. I'm sure I've got a video on those. As I say at the beginning, I do a video on each bug. I'm slowly working through them, devoting a whole video to each bug. Let me see. I've got, what have I done so far? Let's do that. I've done mud daubers, which are also called, this is half the problem, bugs have many names: dirt dauber, mud wasp, potter wasp, paper wasp, hummingbird, hawk moth, geometro caterpillar, which is the inchworm or the looper, the measure worm or the span worm. I do research and find all the words to help, particularly Americans have different names for everything. All about cicadas, and that's a great video actually. This is all in one playlist of bugs and insects if you want to look at any of these. The cicadas, I've actually got a clip of a cicada, how it's actually making its noise. That's quite a good video. If any of you are particularly interested in one, I can find the links right now for you. The cucumber beetle, that's on broccoli and tomato plants mostly, and my eco remedy for that. Millipedes, how to get them, particularly in your home, how to get rid of them. Bees and wasps, butterflies, hornets. If you get hornets, I've got a great video on that. Slugs and other words for slugs. I've got a good video on getting rid of those. Ants, I've got oriental hornets. We have a lot of those here. Bagworms. Now this one, someone else, I can't remember whose channel I looked at today, they've just done a video on this. In America, I think you mostly call them pill bugs or roly-polies. I've never heard those names for them before, but we call them wood lice. Some people also call them potato bugs or saw bugs. I have a whole video on those. White fly, I've got a video on that. Identification and solutions. Yeah, cicadas, stick insects, praying mantis, those kind of things. But would you believe the thing that's hardest for us to stop eating our plants are chameleons? Yes. I think mostly because all the bugs, I've got a way of making sure I don't get them first. So a deterrent rather than dealing with something when it comes. So I think my biggest tip to you is find what your deterrent is rather than how to get rid of something. But yes, horned tomato worms, I've got some great photos of those from our garden. So maybe I'll start to make up a video on that. Tomato hornworms chew the leaves, bore holes in the fruit. The only way to get rid of them is physically remove them and kill them. I have tips. Let me write down to make that a priority to film. Let me put it on my to-do list on my whiteboard. Tomato hornworms. Tomato hornworms. There you go, Mr. Jimmy. There we go. I will get I've got some, as I say, great photos of them and a bit of filming, and there's other hornworms as well, so I might just lump that all together in one video. You also need plant repelling crops, as I said, or companion planting. Introduce natural predators and beneficial insects that eat bore bugs. So that is one of the answers for you, Jimmy. I believe I have seen lots of American videos, gardening videos. You can actually buy praying mantis and things like that. You can actually buy them and put them, let's say, in a greenhouse or something, let them all breed in there and let them loose. So, yeah, you need to get preventative bugs. You can either attract them into your garden, or, as I say, I've never heard of it before. Don't know if it's just an American thing. Tell me, anyone, if you know. But you can buy the insects by post. Yeah, interesting. So you can then make them vast within your garden or land. As I say, you could actually net them into certain areas or greenhouse and breed more of them. Jimmy says apparently they become the 5-spotted hawk moth known as the Sphinx moth. Yeah, I've got to do a video on that now for you, because if you need tips, I have tips. I have big tips. This is another good tip I've written down. This is all mine, by the way. This is my tips. Oh, can you see? I made myself my own little garden book. I'll put live next to it because I'll forget what I've told you and what I haven't on the live. I write down all my little tips and try and collate them. So when I make a video, I don't have to think about it. What we were saying. Yes, introduce herbs and other counteracting plants. Now, you've got to find what counteracts what insects, but things you can also use are poppies. A lot of insects don't like poppies. Obviously, your butterflies, bees, those kind of ones do. Your good pollinators, but the bad bugs don't like it. And that also encourages then good bugs in to eat the bad bugs. It's a little bit like a biology lesson. You've got to know each bug, what they like, what they don't like, and what eat what. What eats what. Nettles are good to have. I know we don't like nettles. I know you can make nettle soup and things like that. That's not for me. But if you're into that kind of thing, nettles are a great thing. The nettles, ladybirds actually like nettles. A lot of people aren't aware of that. Encourage the good bugs by making bug hides, bug hotels, people call them. Personally, I can't do that because it brings in things like snakes and things like that. So again, depends on where you are. And then in the winter, instead of the bugs going to warmer parts and finding nice warm places, keep those good bugs in your garden by making nice hidey holes. You can use, I don't know what you call them, air bricks, or the big bricks you can build with that have holes in. They're quite good, like breeze blocks, and that you can get some countries the red house bricks with holes in. Anything like that, you can put pipes down. But as I say, do take care if you're a country with snakes, something like that. As I said, companion planting works as well. Carrots with tomatoes, carrots with onion, garlic and onion keep away most bad bugs, particularly whitefly. Leaf bugs. Hose spray plants with water from the bottom upwards. So if you've got those bugs, then literally get a hose and water it. Don't start from the top. Some people spray to get rid of bugs, spray at the top. Where are those bugs going? Oh, fall down, hide in the earth, eat the roots. So if you're spraying water on plants to get rid of bugs, start from the bottom and go upwards. And if it's things like whitefly, they fly away. How I got rid of whitefly the first time I got it was twofold. One is you can go, if it's on roses, get washing up liquid or dishwashing soap, whatever you call it, on a bit of kitchen towel or kitchen paper, and literally wipe everywhere, and it will get them off. You'll see them on the kitchen paper, but also it makes a slippery surface. They shouldn't come back. And if you have them on crops, every morning and every night, spray underneath the leaves and on top with water. Also, if the bugs move to the top, if you're hosing upwards, the bugs will all come to the top and you can trap them then. Also, you can smear Vaseline or petroleum jelly on the base of the plant and again under leaves. People think of the top. Always check when you go out and check for caterpillars and things, they're normally underneath leaves. And things like broccoli, you will find them heading towards the heads. So watch there. Natural spray remedies, use Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew, which is organic, for fleas and tick control for your pets. So it's good for those. Tea and vinegar sprays, make tea out of tomato leaves as they are toxic, and then spray your crops. Dilute rubbing alcohol with water and spray that onto crops. 1 gallon of water, 8 ounces of any hot pepper or hot sauce, anything like that, and 10 ounces of washing up liquid, dish soap. Then you spray the leaves and the stalk and the base of the plants. Also, you can encourage toads between plants by putting little water bowls there, and the toads will come. Also, some rocks and broken clay pots amongst the plants. And another way to do bug removal on vegetables is 5 parts water, 2 parts rubbing alcohol, and a squirt of dish soap or washing up liquid. So there's some basic tips and ideas there for you. Okay, let's go on to knacks, hacks, facts and stats. And I thought today we'd do a little bit more on freezing and preserving for our prepping. So we have to talk about freezing and saving crops. We want to grow as many crops at once and then preserve them. It's all very well having fresh produce, but you need to grow as much as you can within your growing season, particularly if you have a very short growing season. Grow it and save it. Foods must be well protected when freezing and properly wrapped or packed in simple containers. If left uncovered or badly wrapped, the low temperature will dry the foods and cause freezer burn, which will spoil the texture and the flavour. Where possible, pack in plastic bags or freezer foil or cling wrap. Even more economical are food containers such as your yogurt, cream, margarine pots. Just wash well, dry, fill and seal with the lid, foil or cling wrap. Also use foil dishes from takeaways or what you can buy for frozen foods. Wash well and seal. When packaging, as much air as possible should be extracted, so squeeze plastic bags gently to remove air pockets. You can also put them in a bowl of water and the air will be pushed out to the top. Use containers of the correct shape and size and seal completely. Always label each package with date, quantity, name and storage time. It's still perfectly safe to eat frozen foods beyond recommended storage time, although no longer than a few weeks. The food will just lose some of its original quality of flavour, colour and texture. And the smaller the package, the better. Packing amounts generally used for home cooking. Where possible, freeze made-up dishes in containers in which they can be reheated. It's a great tip for you so you don't have to wash up. Also, when I freeze things like eggplants, I only want one of a small one at a time to go in my sauces that I make. I don't want to have a freezer bag for each one. That's a waste. So what I do is put one in, twist the top, put another one in, twist, another one, twist. and so on and so forth. And then you can just fold it up and put it away. Then when I want one, or maybe I want two, then I can just take them out individually. Never freeze too many items at once, since this will raise the temperature inside the freezer. This is bad for the food in the freezer, and also means food just put in will take longer to freeze, and some texture and flavour will be lost. And then we'll talk about blanching. These are ways to freeze. Plunge vegetables and some kinds of fruit, look into that to be sure which, into boiling water for short time to increase storage life and help maintain quality. The amount of time depends on the variety of the vegetable. Dry pack. Freeze usable quantities of fruit or vegetables in plastic bags or containers with or without sugar or syrup. As the food will freeze in solid mass, you'll have to use the whole of each quantity at once, doing it this way. Open freeze. A free-flowing pack where small quantities can be removed, can be produced by first spreading the prepared fruit or vegetables in a single layer on a tray and freezing until firm. Then pack and seal immediately to prevent drying. And finally, sugar pack. This is the same as dry packing, except the sugar is sprinkled over the fruit before freezing. This makes it ideal for pies, puddings, or jams. So I hope there was something of use there for you. And let's go on to a little fun section I haven't done for a little while. This is discover, sort, declutter, and organise. And this is where I go through a drawer or a cupboard, bring something out. I think I must go through that and see what I want to keep or get rid of. Or a good tip, if you want to keep something but you don't want to keep it, photograph it. And then you've still got it, but it's gone. So I thought I would share. I went in my filing cabinet because I used to have a great big filing cabinet for work, and I don't use it now. So I now keep my keepsakes in it. And I found this. I'd forgotten about this. Ooh, what's this? Well, our honeymoon, which was our last holiday for 17, 18 years, we've never been on holiday since, and I no longer have a passport because we can't afford them, and I'm pretty sure I can't travel, who knows. And we went to Egypt and also Rhodes for our honeymoon. And while I was there, I wanted to buy something to keep from both those places. So this was handmade in Rhodes. And it's like a memory book, if you like. And I thought this would be perfect. And I could keep little things from the wedding or honeymoon in it. So this isn't my wedding book, but I thought, oh, this would be just nice, almost like a scrapbook to keep anything like that in. So we have one of my wedding invitations. I can't show you that because it's got some information on there. And also my engagement announcement card. Rhodes, yes, I know he was. I remember. I liked Rhodes. Well, because for our honeymoon, we wasn't sure if we wanted to do like a rest holiday or go somewhere we hadn't been. Obviously, coming from Cyprus, we got married in Cyprus. So we said, well, let's have a double honeymoon. So we went to Egypt first to see pyramids, and we went to a paper factory there, all sorts of things, hieroglyphics, and saw tombs and that kind of thing. And then from there, we went on to Rhodes and had a sort of beachy, relax holiday there on the beach. Now I've got a page that says what the flowers were for the wedding. Yes, Cyprus. So I had what flowers, and I've got my bouquet was roses and lilies. The buttonholes were blue roses, yes, blue roses for the bridal party and white roses for the guest. And then I've got a card of where we got the flowers from. And do you know, out of our whole wedding in Cyprus, You will not believe the most expensive part of it, everything you have to book for the wedding, not the honeymoon, but the actual wedding. The most expensive bit, the most expensive bit was flowers. Can you imagine it? Well, it's because it's so hot in Cyprus, you just can't keep flowers. Yes, you put them in fridges and all the rest of it. We had a big flower arch where we got married, all real flowers. I detest fake flowers. So we had a wedding arch completely made of fresh flowers, as I say, the buttonholes and the bouquet. And that was the most expensive part, which is weird. I got running order of the wedding. Pre-wedding photographs, 5 o'clock the chapel wedding, 5:30 guest photos, and pinning money on the dress, because I did the Cypriot custom of that. But we had some English guests as well. So what I did, I took the English customs of wedding that I liked and got rid of the ones I wasn't bothered about, and the same with the Cypriot customs. The bits I liked of a Cypriot wedding, we had those. So it was a lovely wedding, and we explained to the guests what we were going to be doing. The Cypriot guests thought that was great, us doing the pinning the money on the dress. And I said that if obviously the English people, if they still wanted to do gifts instead, they could do whatever they wanted. Well, a lot of them loved doing the idea of the pinning the money on the dress. For them, it was an education as well. And you know what happened? I would say most of the guests, because they read all what I was planning on doing, each nationality did both. So the Cypriot guest did the money on the dress, but they said, we read it's your custom to have a gift, so here's a gift as well. And the English people, they did the gift because that's what they know, but they said, we like the idea of pinning the money on the dress. So that was amazing. I've got a little business card of where we got our wedding rings from. And then I'll show you the page, then I'll read it. So this is how I've kind of done it. So this is the music we had at the wedding. Let me bring it up so you can read it first. That's the music we had at the wedding. So I'll read it. We had bridal entrance. We had Ave Maria and the minuet from the Notebook of Anna Magdalena from Bach. Signing the register, we had Howard's Way and Part of Your World. The first dance, Mike chose both of the bits of music for the first dance because I chose all the other music, and he wanted Eric Clapton, Wonderful Tonight, and the Turtles, Happy Together. So that's a little bit more go-y. So we had like the slow song Wonderful Tonight. And then obviously that was first dance, and we carried on dancing Happy Together, and everyone got up. Here's a little clip I've just cut out, I saw in a magazine, and it's just got Michael is enigmatic and charismatic. He's very attractive. This is from a magazine. Look, it's at the top here. I just found that. Then we've got who did the photography and the filming. Then there's a picture of where we got married. It's a bit dark. It's the chapel we got married in. Don't know how clearly you can see that. My lighting's not brilliant. That's the chapel we got married in. Lovely. What else? I haven't looked at this for a long time. I can't remember what was in it. And then we got next bit of the wedding running order. I say running order. I'm a West Ender running order. 6 o'clock, bar, crudities, music and photos. 7:30, bride and groom, champagne on boat, guest lineup on return. 8 o'clock, 4-course meal on pier and speeches. Throwing of bouquet, first dance. Dancing on pier to live music. sunset photos, firework display. Now, the firework display we didn't know about, we didn't pay for, and it was a surprise by the venue that at sort of the end of the evening, they'd arranged a full firework display over the sea for us. And in Cyprus, fireworks are like mega things, like as in the biggest firework display you've ever seen, those kind of ones. And then look, I did a little page here, wedding breakfast. I've kind of done it like a sort of scrapbook, and I've written what it is. Let me read it to you. Fresh garden greens topped with smoked duck breast slivers, enhanced with raspberry vinaigrette. Ooh. Creamy vegetable soup, herb lamb loin, chateau potatoes, buttered green beans, glazed carrots, and then dark chocolate mousse with Grand Marnier sauce. Nice. Then we've got all the table plans, and I had round tables. I'll have to go. Oh, nice to see you, though. Thanks so much. I love that you do a scrapbook. Colleen does as well. I'm not a scrapbooker, but obviously for the wedding, this was something. Yes, I wanted round tables. So we had several round tables, and I've put everyone's names on them. And what I did, is it a clamshell, the big like flat one? Is it a clamshell? The really big sort of flatty shell. I got loads of those, and I didn't write it. I think I used letter transfers, I remember, and I put everyone's names on them, and that was the table place, nameplate places, because it was on a, I say pier, it's a bit more than a pier. The wedding reception was on there. We had the whole pier to ourselves, and so I wanted like the mermaidy, not mermaid theme, but you know what I mean, the blue and the shells and that kind of thing. It wasn't a mermaid theme. And my bridesmaids had like a Greek blue, you know what you see houses painted when it's white and the blue, that colour blue was my bridesmaid, so that was kind of became the theme colour. So yeah, it's all the table layouts I've done on different pages. Then I've got a list of the wedding guests and what everyone bought us. So I've got that. Just seeing. And obviously people who didn't come but sent us wedding gifts, because my family didn't come. So obviously I've got what they gave us for the wedding. So yeah, I've got all that. Do you want to know? It says total cash on the wedding dress. Yes, like houses, yes. Did you serve seafood? No, I just read the menu. Meat for me, Mr. Jimmy. Meat for me. That's what I said, not mermaid. I got the wrong word. It was just blue. But no, meat for me. I'm a meat eater. Oh, I'm a meat eater. Yeah, so if you're interested, the wedding dress, they are so reasonable out here. I had it handmade. And what you do, you go in a shop. There's, as you probably know, Cypriots and Greeks are tailors, a lot of them. They work in London and they're very sought after, the tailors. And you go in the shop and you basically design what you want. You can say, oh, I sort of like that there and I like that there. You don't buy them off the peg. So it might be prom dresses, evening dresses. They've got all different sorts. The one thing I knew I wanted was spaghetti straps. And for those of you who don't know, it's like thin straps, just thin straps, like you get sort of vest tops. So I wanted that. So I said that, and then I looked, I said, oh, I like that, and I don't like that. What I didn't like, what they made at that time, was wedding dresses where they come in two parts, a top part and a bottom part. So they say then it's not wasted, because obviously I have a big sort of skirty thing. And they said then you can wear the top separate another time, or some people like to change in the evening and you could keep the top bit. Okay, bless you. See you soon. Thanks for coming. Yeah, so you have the big skirt and that, and they say if you change halfway through, that some people like to go, okay, Mr. Jimmy. if you want to change in the evening, you could leave the top bit and put something at the bottom. No, you pay a lot of money for it, so I want to wear it the whole time. But bearing that in mind, it's handmade and hand designed, if you like your own design, and you just get ideas there. And you also get free jewelry that comes with it. I'd already bought a small tiara, and they said, oh, that comes free with it. I was like, oh, I've got one. She said, well, it's sort of within the price. And it was very tall, more crowny than a tiara sort of shape, quite elaborate. Anyway, I talked to my bridesmaids about it, and they said, well, I said, I want to kind of wear the one that I've got, but I don't know. Then they said, no, this other one was more elaborate. Maybe you should wear that, look more formal, if you like. So I said, yeah, but I won't be comfortable wearing that all the time. So they said, right, well, why don't you wear the formal one for the wedding? And then because I was going to go on the boat and then come back and have the meal, they said, why don't you then swap it? And that's sort of the wedding's over and wear your one. That's what I did. So bearing all that in mind, the money spent on the wedding dress I got a bracelet, the tiara, and earrings all came with it. The total cost of that was 365 Cyprus pounds. I can't convert for you now, but that was far less than English pounds at the time, because we had Cyprus pounds in those days. So, and then I kept one. These are what I made for sending as thank yous for the wedding gifts. I made those to say thank you for the wedding gifts. Did those. Oh, I've got some pictures here. Oh, these are from where we got married, the room we were staying in, the honeymoon suite. This was like the view out the window from the honeymoon suite. This was at the place we got married, not going on honeymoon. This is where we got married. This is the room we stayed in that actual night. I think we were there a couple of nights actually. So yeah, that's the view from our room of where we got married. Let's see what the next page is. Ah, right. This is a picture of the pier where we got married. Oh, I've just dropped it on the floor. That's the pier. It was in a magazine. It's not quite the setup we had, but that gives you a bit of an idea. And we had, there's a building up the end there, which is the end of the pier. It's a false building. And then it's out to sea then. The jetty's at the end where we got the boat. But we had a dance floor set up halfway up. And as I say, we had round tables and we had more of the blue coming down. I didn't know I had that. Let me pick up what I just thrown on the floor. It always disappears in my lives. Always. Yeah, so, I didn't know I had that. So that's good. I found that in a magazine. And then what have we got? Oh, a little bit about the place where we got married, but it's what other things you get. Let's see if there's some pictures, any pictures here that are relevant. It's not the same. You can't go there anymore and have the same wedding. It's still, there's still a hotel there with the chapel, but it's not remotely like it was when we booked it. It's been taken over and changed. So they were the pools there. So this is where we got married. And what they do, I haven't seen this before, during the wedding, the chapel's way over here somewhere. You're not near the pool, it's way over here. But they close this whole area during the wedding and after until you're down on the pier. Oh, you can see the pier there. And see what I mean about it's a false building. the end of the pier. So they close all this down for the whole day. So I don't know if you're a guest to the hotel, whether they actually say there will be a wedding. I've seen before where they keep you away from the area of the wedding, but no, they completely closed the gardens completely. And I was like, wow. I said, oh, do we need to sort of hurry up? And they're like, no. They knew what time we were going down on the pier. You'd think there'd be a picture of the chapel in here, but it's not really about weddings. This is just the hotel. No pictures there. And because it was 20 years of them having that hotel at the time, they gave us 2 champagne glasses that we've still got. And they engraved them with, I think, our names, the date of our wedding, and the place name on it. What's this? Oh, this is our honeymoon. Got receipts for our honeymoon. So one must be for Egypt and one must be for Rhodes. So there's that. There's our tickets. There's more of our tickets. Then a bit about Rhodes. Facts and figures, Rhodes. Now, Rhodes is a Greek island. Cyprus is not a Greek island, but Rhodes is. So there's a little bit about that. It's quite handy. What else we got? This is, this must be Egypt. Oh, yes. It's on the back. Oh, I know what this is. See all the Greek Egyptian alphabet, and Mike bought me a necklace, and the necklace is my name in the hieroglyphics. And he said, oh, I'll ask, like, you could have a front and back, so you could have like your children's names on or whatever. And he said, oh, you want Dawn on it? And I said, you know what? It's the first thing I'll have with my married name on, Mike's surname. So I said, do you think we could afford, because you paid for each letter, do you think we could afford to have Dawn on the front and then Mike's surname on the back? Not Dawn and Mike, but I wanted something with my new surname. So he thought that was very sweet. So he said, yes, we'll do that. So I had that. There's just brochures on Egypt. Yeah, just brochures on Egypt. Some paperwork in an envelope. I don't know what this paperwork is. It looks like some form of receipts. Don't know what that's for. This is Cyprus. This must be something to do with our marriage paperwork. This is to do with you have to go and get formal documents, and that's receipts for the documents when you get married. Oh, that's all the cost of the actual wedding. Yes, so that's probably why all that's in that envelope. That's all to do with the actual wedding. Yeah, and then a little card. Yeah, a little card Mike made me in the back. You'd be embarrassed if I showed you. So yeah, I love that. It's quite heavy, and this is solid on the top. Look, that's the island of Rhodes. So I just thought it was a perfect thing to keep from there, from our honeymoon, that I could keep. So as I say, like a little scrapbook. I'm not a scrapbooker, but I like to keep things together like that. So definitely keeping all that for sure. Definitely. So yeah, I hope you like looking at that. I always like to grab things. Yeah, as I say, most of my things like that are in the filing cabinet. And most of my photograph albums are, which I'm sure I will drag out in time. Okay, let's go on to, let's take a look from a book I took from my book nook. And I was going through my bookcase of books that are a bit different. And the last place I lived in England before I came to Cyprus was Wallington in Surrey, which is South London. And I bought this book, Growing Up in Wallington Growing Up in Wallington Between the Wars. And I do love looking at streets as they were. As I say to you, I like looking at houses, where I lived. The back says the author was born in 1912 and lived in Wallington, Surrey for 53 years. Her grandfather, John Charles Albert Fallstick, which says jobmaster, farrier and contractor, was a well-known local figure. In 1939, she married Dennis Whiting, who worked in Wallington as a local government officer from 1932 to 1965. They moved to Feltham, Bognor Regis in 1969 and are now enjoying an active retirement involved in local affairs, especially conservation and preservation. Wow. So I love reading about where I live or lived. And there's just like pictures, lots of old pictures. I like to look at the houses and places I know. I've actually got in the other room an old map of the area I used to live. So it starts about the early years talking there. The author swinging in her cot. Look. So I don't know, there's no index, so it would have been good to actually have references of pages of things. I mean, obviously, oh yeah, there's pictures with the roads named. It's not a very big place, Wallington. It's perfect if you want sort of suburbs but quick into London, because I was in the West End a lot. It was a fast train in. Now, this says harvesting lavender in the fields around Wallington at the turn of the century. I believe the area I live was all lavender fields originally. I lived in two houses in Wallington, one in one road, and then I moved to a bigger house, which was in this road. So I didn't move very far. And I remember some friends helped me to carry all like small stuff backwards and forwards, so I only needed big furniture in a friend's van. This is a water van, probably the one referred to in chapter 1. The photograph is believed to have been taken around 1890 outside Dr. Cressy's house at the corner of Manor Road and Croydon Road, opposite Wallington Green. There. If you go on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, I'm slowly reading my nan's autobiography, and she was born in 1918. And if you go on there, you'll see there's a whole playlist. If you don't know my other channel, that's linked below. And it says, I think it's called something about autobiography of my nan or something like that is the title on the playlist. Coach trip from Bognor Regis. My nan and granddad went to Bognor Regis most years, and then they went on cruises as well a lot. So they had an English holiday and a foreign holiday. So I've got great bonds with Bognor Regis because we used to always go and see them while they were on holiday. So yeah, that's the coach. Look, that's the coach. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? I wonder if there's any of those left anywhere. Look at that. I don't know what that's called. Does it say what it is? No. Oh, look at that. That's wonderful. Oh, I love that. Oh, look, if anyone knows if there's these anywhere, I've never seen such a thing like that. Wow, that's awesome. I really like that. What's this? Wedding group at the back of Normanhurst. I don't know what Normanhurst is. Look at that. Wow. There were some weird outfits in the old days. There's some pictures of people. People aren't really that much of interest. En route to Ascot races. That's Epsom. Epsom races and Ascot races. There. That's really cool. Like that. What's this one? The author's parents, grandparents and friends on a boat trip down the river. What river? What river? Well, that's not very helpful, is it? I suppose you've got to read the book. Oh, the river trips above were mentioned by. Right, so where are we talking about the river? Oh, River Thames. Oh, right, okay. It's saying, where do we start? As soon as school days were over, my mother and her friends made the most of limited range of entertainments available and took part in quite a pleasant round of social events such as musical evenings in each other's homes, charity concerts, private dances and trips on the River Thames or to the races. Now, it's funny, I've just been reading my nan's autobiography, and that talks about she goes to the River Thames, talk about trips on the River Thames. Look at them all dressed up in their finery. So it was their date on that 1908. 1908. Oh, yeah. The author standing on the chair with her mother and baby sister, Joan. Wow. Look at that. I don't like the way pictures in the old days had to be so posed. I know why, but... here we go. Oh, no, this road. The Myrtles, number 38 Park Lane. That wasn't far from where I lived. And that area, there's still a lot of the Edwardian and Victorian houses. The first house I lived in was Victorian and the second one was Edwardian. There are a lot in Wallington. In fact, I would say there's more of those than anything else. And even the high street, when I left, there's still a lot of the original sort of shop buildings. Oh, here's the other road, Manor Road and Station Approach. Right, this is the high street, the bottom of the high street. Now that's recognisable. That is actually quite recognisable. And then this one is Woodcote Road, Wallington. Yeah, this is the high street. At the junction of Ross Parade. I lived in Ross Road, so you went down Ross Parade and then it went straight into Ross Road. So I know exactly where it is. 1935, showing the semicircular canopy of the Odeon Cinema. Yeah, and this building here, they say is now the post office. I don't know if that's still there. It was there when I left, but I know England was shutting down a lot of post offices. So yeah, this was still here when I moved there. That was still there. I think it changed into a pub. I forget the brand of it. What was loads of them that suddenly started in more recent years opening up everywhere? The Moon and everything, all those ones. Oh, so that's really recognisable. Really recognisable. Wow. I know that really well. What's this one? Hayden's Butcher Shop, Carshalton High Street. Well, Carshalton isn't Wallington, so you shouldn't really be in the book. There. I know that's very similar. That's recognisable. Oh, got the book upside down there. It's an old advertisement from the Sutton and Cheam Advertiser, 1931. That. Woodcote Road, West Side, just south of the railway bridge. The shops in the picture are those mentioned by the author. You've got Nobles, the chemist, J. Short and Sons, dairy, H. Wise, pianos, J. Sainsbury's was still there, London and Suburban meat stores, Ridlington's, which was a cafe, Boots, that was still there, Burnham and Pickett builders, John Shaw and Dixon's and Co. estate agents. I've got a feeling that was still there as well. It was definitely estate agents down there. Now that is recognisable. Oh, got the book upside down again. Keep turning the wrong way, the pages. The author with her two sisters, Joan and Peggy, in the Garden of the Myrtles. Interesting. Orphans, an early 20th century postcard, Beddington. Now that's not far from where I lived. Oh, shame, isn't it? Female Orphans Asylum, Beddington. Wow. The Girls' County School, Wallington, attended by author and previously by her mother, where it was situated in Queen's Road, Wallington. And there. Oh, upside down again. Fire drill at Wallington County School for Girls, Stanley Park Road. In October 1928, this building replaced the earlier one in Queen's Road. There. And then some pictures of people. I have to sit down and read all this. What I should do is highlight sort of bits in it as I go through it. There's a wedding. The author's wedding to Dennis Whitening at Holy Trinity Church, Wallington, on April the 8th, 1939. Wow. That they sit the mothers down. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's more fun for me because I know the places, but I want to read that now. I finished the book I'm reading, so maybe I'll have a read through that one. I've got more. If you're interested in that kind of thing, do let me know. I'm over my hour. I don't like to do more than an hour if possible because I think people are more likely to be able to find the time to watch. So thank you for being here. Do check out the channels that are in the comments. So a big thank you for those who are able to be here. I completely understand that a lot of you can't, as in the same respect I can't be on your lives because of time, as in my time's a different time to most of you. So thanks to the Astute Tourist, Glitter World, Shirley, I thank you very much for being here. Do check out their channels, really great guys. And as I say, check out Digging for Health, Andrea, as well. So until next time, thanks so much for being in my community. I really do love to see you all and hear your comments. So drop me a comment below too. Till next time, Muraki.